got Mark Mobius joining us this afternoon on the phone line as well. Mark, great to have you with us, and it's been a resounding verdict. I'm not going to focus too much on the intraday move. I guess what we're hoping to understand from you here is how FIs will look at this. Will this mean a fresh inflow into India, given that one of the biggest event risks is now clearly out of the way?
Yes, I believe it's very positive. It's quite a big surprise, because everybody was saying, oh, he'll have to form a coalition, et cetera, et cetera. So the outlook was not that great. But even without the, without the resounding victory that you've had, the general feeling was positive among foreign investors. Because if you look at the whole spectrum of emerging markets around the world, you will see that India is really the winner. The Indian market has performed much better than others. And of course, with China down and with the trade war, the China-U.S. trade war, India is looking very, very good.
Sure. Okay. Mark, in terms of policy action, and I ask this because, while we've now got continuity, there's going to be, a keen ear to really what the new government comes out with in order to boost growth, the economy, and of course markets. What will you be watching out for? What's top of mind, according to you, in terms of an ask from the new government?
Well, first of all, labor reform, I think, should be at the top of the list, because you've got a tremendous workforce who want to work. As you know, there are about 100 million migrant workers in India moving from one place to another looking for jobs. So they have to do something about labor reform so that companies can hire more than 100 people and not be burdened down with lots of bureaucracy. So I think that's number one, because you want to get workers working and getting the standard of living moving up. Of course, it's already doing well. I mean, the economy is doing very well, but this would give a tremendous boost. The other thing is to really move along the infrastructure projects, because with better infrastructure, better roads, better railroads, with all of this, it's going to be a big winner for India generally and the Indian population, particularly people in the farms. If they can get their produce through the markets faster, if they can communicate better with the cities, then you're going to be in much better shape. So I would say those two areas, infrastructure and labor reform, would be at the top of my list, I would say.
And from your clients, would they buy India suddenly after the narrative, or that is not going to happen because Indian markets otherwise, irrespective of the election verdict, are rich and does not make sense to buy them right now?
No, I think the Buy India idea, of course, is very viable. It's a huge market you've got, but what's holding it back are these 2 points that I just made, labor reform and infrastructure. Because, if you're manufacturing something in the south, you want to get to the north, it might be easier for you just to import it rather than moving it through the very, very, poor roads or railroads. So I think that's number one on the list, and that would be very important for the Buy India push.
Mark, just wanted to understand, because up until now, while yes, we're cheering an all-time high on the markets, but that's been just very few restrictive a move. 8-10 stocks leading the benchmark indexes up. If you still look at individual portfolios, and which is the broader markets, your small and mid caps, portfolios are still bleeding, and these indexes, the broader markets that is, are still way off their all-time top mark. Would you think that this decisive mandate politically can now ensure the broader market recovery, or would you still say that the preference would be towards the large caps?
No, I think, of course, when you get a move like this, the index, when the index moves, then you have all the ETFs and index funds piling in, and that tends to emphasize the larger stocks. But I think that will be temporary. I think you're going to get a move down into the smaller, the medium and smaller stocks as the market moves forward, because there's so many good opportunities there. That's where we're focusing. We're focusing on the medium-sized companies.
Mark, for long, you and many others have been, liking financials largely, also because of its, large representation on the index. What else would you be looking to buy? Would infrastructure be of interest to you? Would any of the consumption themes which are beaten down and there is a slowdown, cyclical as it may be in nature, would that be of interest to you?
Yeah, we would be interested in companies that supply infrastructure projects, whether it be people making steel bars, whether it makes pipes and tubes, whether it's cement, anything related to supplying the infrastructure push would be of interest to us. On the consumer side, we have to be very careful about the impact of the internet selling. As you know, internet sales are moving up in India, so any company you look at has got to have some kind of internet strategy or at least some answer to internet competition. So this is where you're going to have to be focused very, very importantly.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. That's the election heat map which we've devised for you.